Welcome back to the Hit the Turnbuckle podcast, another independent showcase. We've been to Canada, we've been to Australia, we've been to America, we've been to, unfortunately, Scotland, and now we're back in the United Kingdom with somebody who has had he had a great year last year, looking to make an even better year this year. He is the former, and he won't like me saying this, DKW Tag Team Championships with his teammate who could well be my champion very, very soon in Denzel Mack. But it is the other half of Black and Gold, Mr. Lincoln Spectre. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, doing very well. Looking forward to talk to you today.
Same here. Same here. Look, I've seen you quite a few times now, Lincoln, in wrestling, and I do like what I see. And we need to get you at Ignite. I will say that that will be somewhere where we need to have you, definitely. But for
Well,
someone that doesn't know
keep your eyes open on May 3rd.
Well, keep our eyes open because we may have to. Yeah, you may be called into action, especially with his partner, his opponent, sorry, and his significant friend who comes with him. We'll get into that in a minute. But look, we're into 2026. We're halfway through that right now, and I mentioned before that recently losing that DKW Tag Championship. But how has the year gone for you, anyways, as a whole so far?
When I debuted in 2024,
Mm.
and it was starting slow. I had here and there. You get a booking. In 2025 was really where it sort of all fell together
Mm.
for me. First 6 months up and was my training. I started diversifying my training. I started expanding. I mainly train at Play Fight, but I started expanding outside of that. Started going to Hustle, started going to Cobra, went to Burridge as well, went to Catch. So that's really how I put it all together. And then since, as you said, I won the DKW Tag Team Championships with my partner Denzel Mack. That's when it all exploded and took off for me. And I had almost double the amount of matches in the second half of the year than I did in the first. Ended up having 52 matches last year, and this year it's just continued. Already 27 under my belt, and got loads and loads of bookings lined up for the rest of the year.
The really successful, the really successful 2025 and into 2026, even busier, which for an independent wrestler is fantastic news. But for someone that say doesn't know Lincoln Spectre, define the character to people.
I go by the Dojo Bro. It was a moniker that someone else gave me because every single time they went to training, I was there. Worker in the room, the hardest worker in the ring. A bit arrogant about it because I know I am a bit better than everyone else, but I do back it up because not only am I in the wrestling ring training, I'm in the gym training, I'm out on the track training. You can never catch me slipping, and that's what Lincoln Spectre is all about.
And talk to everyone about the in-ring style, because there's lots of people who have different in-ring styles. What is Lincoln Spectre's in-ring style?
So I do a bit of everything. I like to define myself. You can see me flipping off the top rope. You can see me kicking you. If you're in the ring with me, you can see me kicking you in the head or not. Maybe if I knock you out. I do a bit of technical. I go back to the British roots. I love your Nigel McGuinness, your Zack Sabre Jr. I love those guys. I take a lot of inspiration from those guys. But in addition to that, I'm really into not only Mexican style of wrestling, but the combination of Mexican and lucha libre, Mexican and Japanese. So you've
Hmm.
got that lucha style that I really, really like, and I like to bring that in as well. It's a style that was kind of modernized through Dragon Gate Pro Wrestling, which is one of my
Yeah.
favorite promotions to take bits and pieces from. I think that what I'm using the WWE is, and they're not looking back at Dragon Gate and these smaller promotions where you've got these rich pools of talent um, that no one's doing this stuff and put what they were doing, how they succeeded on an unknown level inside. ways, and I try and bring it to the ring. And as you can see, it's been working for me so far.
It has. It certainly has indeed. Look, most times out of 10, I've seen you in a tag team with Denzel Mack, but do you prefer the tag team, or are you more of a single star, would you say? What was your preference?
Well, that's always a tough question. I think I do prefer being a single star. I think that it's such a tough question because Denzel is my brother, and we pick wrestling tag team championships as well. But being a single star allows me to fully immerse myself in being who I want to be. When I'm with Denzel, sometimes we're joking around a bit, sometimes we're not having a bit of fun out there. But when I'm in the ring on my own, I'm on it, man. I'm on it. I put all that training to good use, and it's just me and one other person. At the end of the day, we scrap that walks out the winner.
Yeah, definitely. So majority of the time, it's you, for want of a better phrase, anyway, which is a good thing, obviously, for you. Brian, where did you see Brit wrestling in 2026? I know you made your debut 2024. We I started the podcast, got me back into Brit Rest in 2023 when we restarted it, and I was blown away by the talent pool in Brit Rest. I couldn't believe how great people were. Where do you see Brit Rest in 2026?
It's really interesting because when I first got into wrestling, I was 14. And it was about 2014 because funnily enough, I wasn't actually allowed to watch wrestling when I was younger. Uh, Parents thought it was too violent, but they'd let me watch Pokemon and Power Rangers, where it's the exact same thing happened, but wrestling was too real for them. So I grew up with that, and when I got into British wrestling, it was sort of 2018 when Progress was really popping off.
Mm.
Had those electric ballroom shows that were selling out. You'd have to jump on and get the tickets. And I think since COVID, the BritWrest has been building itself back up.
Mm.
When I started training in 2022, the amount of shows that there were running, it didn't seem like they were as frequent as they are now. And as I've progressed in my career, the amount of wrestling promotions and new talent that's popped up just in the last couple of years is
Mm.
immense. You're looking at, and I saw a lot of guys yesterday who, some of them I've trained with popping up. They've got a WWE tryout. I mean,
Yeah.
in my mind, up until this point, there was no, a thought, a couple of years down the line, maybe I'll be, but my colleagues in a way are getting these opportunities, and I'm like, that's absolutely amazing. I also extend the British wrestling scene, and I look at the European wrestling scene as a whole, and how that's exploded recently with France and Italy and Spain, and before you'd hear there's one promotion that's doing well in Spain and one promotion doing well in France, but it seems like everything's just blowing up. And there's competition amongst the boys and the girls that are putting in the reps in the ring, but at the end of the day, you're fighting in the ring, but you got to fight for yourself on the social media as well. You got to be putting yourself out there. You got to be showing up to shows. You got to be, even if you're not wrestling, you got to be helping out. You got to be putting your name out there. And I absolutely love it, because at the end of the day, it goes back to, I always try and be the hardest worker in the ring, whether that's me. I'm going to a promotion, I'm helping out, I'm showing my face for the first time, whether that be setting up the ring, or I'm booked on a show, booked in the main event in a championship match. At the end of the day, I want that fan who's come to their first wrestling show, or that fan who's been to Progress, Rev Pro, whatever it be. If they're coming to a show that I'm on, I want my name to be the one that they go home with, and they go, oh, that guy, he's got something. Maybe down the road we'll see him, and then he's got a championship, and maybe he gets this other opportunity. I mean, that's one thing that I'm really looking forward to this year. Is I've been on quite a few different shows, but I want to hit that next level. We'll go on a bit later to talk about what I'm getting up to in May, but I've got some exciting stuff coming up. But the competition and the talent pool that is in British wrestling right now is immense, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to just be somewhat in a part of it, right? With
Yeah.
Ignite and what we do, just to be there, and it's amazing. We actually got invited down to Cobra to watch their first show, which was great. But
Yeah.
you mentioned Play Fight,
Yes.
which is Spike's, a lot of ways Spike Gervais' baby, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
And how is it working? I mean, that guy. I mean, we're talking about guys and girls that got tryouts. How that guy hasn't been called up? Maybe he doesn't want to. I don't know. But that guy is just absolutely incredible from a ring, from not just from a wrestling perspective, but from a
Yeah.
psychology perspective as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, the play fight's an interesting one. It's nowhere near me. It's the first wrestling school that I thought of. I'm in Southwest London, and it's in Southeast London. So I do the trek two or three times a week to get there. But yeah, majority of my career, I have to say I was trained by Spike Trevay, Cara Noir, Nina Samuels, Danny Black. These guys, they're working as hard as we are. But yeah, like you said, someone like they've all got an interesting perspective as well. Spike especially, he's got an interesting perspective on wrestling, and every time I see him, he's always popping new stuff out. But you know, he's also a pretty intimidating guy. He's got absolutely jacked recently.
Yeah,
We're always trying to catch up to him. All the boys, we do sometimes on the Wednesday sessions, we do what's called Whip It Off Wednesdays, where we
right.
do mad cardio drills and the shirts come off. And of course, when Simon's taking a session, everyone's trying to put in that bit of extra work just to make sure that we're keeping up with him, because Spike Trevay, he's on all the big shows and he's putting in the work. He's trying to get us to that next level. And it's the same with Cara Noir, with Nina Samuels. She's been around
Yeah.
for time. She's on all these big shows, and Danny Black as well. He's just flown over to Vegas. He's working at GCW, all these big shows. I look at those guys and I go, the wealth of knowledge that they're able to provide and pass down to us is immense. But yeah, I do like to diversify my learning. As I said, I started at Hustle recently.
Yeah.
I've been to Cobra a couple of times. It's a bit out of the way for me, but yeah, I've been training there with. I've done a couple of Mark True sessions. He's a crazy guy. He gets the best out. He gets the best out of us. But yeah. And the training. I think training is one thing that people neglect. They get on shows and they think that's the end of their journey in training, but I think there's an interesting way of looking at it. I think that the training is so important, because I've had my perspective switched by one thing that, for example, that Spike Trevay said in training. He switched my perspective on it and opened my mind up to a whole new way of, what offense am I going to plan into a match? What training am I going to put into a match? How am I going to follow up on this? If someone kicks out of a move, how am I going to follow up? It's psychology, and he's one of the best in the game at it.
He certainly is. And you mentioned Danny Black. When I heard that him and Lando were going over to Vegas, I was like, oh, hello. I expected those, when those things were happening yesterday, I was like, waiting for it to drop. It didn't, but I think it's a matter of time for them as well, without a doubt. But right, we get to the start now, where I like to change it up a little bit. I like to get you to get your thinking cap on. Some wrestlers do this quite easily, some don't. But as a word of warning, I am throwing a few new questions into this, because I was thinking of them today. So the first one is one that I do all the time. Everyone talks about their Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, but I don't want that. I want your top four, so your Mount Rushmore of wrestling theme songs.
Oh, okay. The first one that pops into my head is Christian. I don't know the names of all of these, but
Which one?
Christian, it's the
Just Close Your Eyes.
Yeah. I was going to sing it then for you, but you got to me there. Yeah. That one, I don't know. Whenever I'm in the gym and I've had a bad day, I'm feeling a bit or whatever, I chuck that one on and it gets me back to life. Honestly, man, it gets me back to life. That's got to be up there. There's a All Japan wrestler called Kento Miyahara, and he has like this upbeat. It's like a video game style theme song, and that always gets me going in the gym as well. What were we saying? when Brock Lesnar's music hits, you know someone's about to get F5. You know someone's about to get messed up.
Yeah.
And I feel like that one just from a point of how excited it gets me when I hear the Brock Lesnar, you know, when he came back in, what was that, 2013, you know, watching the clips on YouTube when I was, you know, when I was way too young to be, well, my parents wouldn't let me watch wrestling, but I was, you know, sneaking on the YouTube and watching them. Oh, there's so many good ones.
Yeah. Just a slight aside on Brock Lesnar, you mentioned that return. I was there for that.
Oh, really? Damn.
So I was in Miami, and I can tell you to this day, that is still the loudest pop I've heard live at a wrestling show. When I've been to live, that's the loudest pop, hands down, was when he come back.
And then number 4, I'm gonna put. It's one that me and Denzel always play in the car on the way to shows. It's Kofi Kingston. SOS.
SOS.
Yeah. I don't know why that one just pops into my head, and that's got to be up there. Man, I forgot that he was Jamaican. You know, that's it. Yeah.
Did you know the song that popped onto my car yesterday? Fucking Harry McDonald. Song. Yeah, that song. Yes.
that's on your playlist.
It is. Yes, it is. Along with Driller Mahoney's and Taylor James's new one. He went since he got Rev Pro'd. When he's changed
fair enough.
Music.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's like being Death Rebelled, but it's better. Rev Pro'd. Taylor James. Right. Table for 3. This is one I've asked before. If you could go to dinner with 3 wrestlers, or wrestling personalities, don't have to be wrestlers, just in wrestling, past or present, living or dead, who's the 3 people you have around a dinner table?
I'm going to caveat with this that I don't speak Japanese, but if we had some sort of mythical translator, one of them would be Hayabusa.
Okay.
And going back to that lucha-esque style, he was one of the ones, and I've watched a lot of tape on him. Some of those All Japan tag matches that he was in, just like the stuff that he was doing, back in the late 90s, or the early 90s, even 1992, and that people are catching up to that now. So, you know, rest in peace, obviously. But like, if I had a mythical translator, I definitely love to be able to have him. You said 3, yeah?
Yeah, table for 3. Yeah.
3. Oh. Number 2, my current favorite wrestler, who I've been able to have a couple of conversations with, but never enough time, Will Ospreay. Again, at the top of the game, seems to be, you know, I saw reports that he was going to change his in-ring style, but it doesn't seem like anything's changed for that man. He's still at the top of the game, still pulling out all the crazy stuff that he was doing when he was younger on the scene. You know, when I first saw him in the Electric Ballroom, you know, almost 8 years ago now. You know, when he first started with New Japan, that match that him and Ricochet had in the Best of Super Juniors, that match in particular kind of unlocked my love and started my journey into learning about what Japanese wrestling was, seeing the viral clips of that and people saying that it was all about, you know, gymnastics and that sort of thing. But you know, I saw it and I went, you know, this is beautiful, man. This is beautiful. So I'd love to speak to him about that and pick his brain about all the stuff that he's done, you know, previously in the Brit Rest scene, you know, balancing that with all the stuff he did in Japan and what he's doing now with, you know, the production on Eve, and everything he's doing with AEW.
Yeah.
Last one.
Yeah. Go on.
God, this is so hard to nail down because I'm so many different names that are like rushing through my head. I'm going to say Chris Jericho, someone who's been through like multiple generations and had to keep evolving. You know, should I say Chris? Yeah, I'll say Matt Hardy is the other name that pops into my head as a similar kind of someone from a similar vein who's been around through multiple different generations and is still adapting and, you know, coming back in in different ways. But I'll say, yeah, we'll go with Chris Jericho. Pick his days on early New Japan, WCW, and then, you know, the changeover that he's made, obviously being with WWE for such a long time and making that jump, you know, doing the dates for New Japan, doing the stuff that he's doing, you know, previously and currently now he's back in AEW. But, you know, just an innovator. And again, I mean, yeah, I think those are my three. You got someone from Hayabusa who's like you know, was an innovator before his time. Will Ospreay, who again I think that he's taken the best of everything that everyone does and makes it his own. And then Chris Jericho, a man who survived and, you know, refuses to die in a way, coming through multiple generations. That'll be my three right there.
That is a very good three. Right. And this is one of the new questions that I get to ask you now. This is called remove one. So erase one from wrestling history. Right. I'm going to give you, there's four, but there's four lots of three. So I'm going to give you a first line and you have to remove one from this line. Austin, Cena, Hogan.
Now this is gonna break some hearts. As I said, my wrestling journey started in 2014, and I don't think I've seen a match that's taken place, at least in WWE, prior to 2000. So, if we're getting rid of one, John Cena, when I started watching wrestling, he was in the midst of the US Championship Open Challenge. You want some, come get some. So I can't get rid of him. And then it's a toss up between Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold. I have seen one Stone Cold match, him against Kevin Owens. Yes. Which you might have been wanting to put your fist through the screen, and some of your viewers might be wanting to as well. Just not my style of wrestling. So I've got to get rid of one of them. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's gonna be Hulk Hogan. I've got to get rid of him.
Hogan is gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Has gone. Okay, your next line. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker.
Again, I've seen very little of Shawn Michaels, although I've done a lot of a take on his, you know, the early stuff that they did with DX, and, you know, when they had the DX revival. I remember the John Cena, Triple H, Shawn Michaels triple threat match for the title, where if I remember correctly, it was, the feud was built up around, you know, them doing double team, and then it was just straight away switching music. Triple H fell out the ring, and it was on. Yeah. Triple H. Yeah. Again, I can't cut out Triple H, because without him, there wouldn't be modern WWE. You know, he's built so much. I mean, Triple H is the reason for NXT. You know, the NXT at its height, and, you know, a little look into myself and Denzel. You know, black and gold is who we stand for, but it's also our inspiration of the black and gold era of NXT, and that's one thing that Triple H brought to us. And then you got the Undertaker, the Phenom. Oh, this is tough. I might have to get rid of Shawn Michaels, just because he's before my time and I haven't seen enough to convince me otherwise. But I'm gonna have to cross out Shawn Michaels.
Okay, Shawn Michaels is gone. It's always a difficult one, that one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Randy Orton, CM Punk, Roman Reigns.
CM Punk's going straight out. CM Punk is going straight out. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm the biggest CM Punk hater. I came into WWE and all I heard was CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. And I got so annoyed. I'm like, who's this guy? They keep chanting for him. You know, I like to see Brock Lesnar. They keep chanting during his matches. I like to see John Cena. They keep chanting this guy's name during his matches. I don't get it. And then when he come back, he wasn't for me. You know, he wasn't for me. I'd stand true on this, and maybe you know, someone else. I think that he's good on the mic. He can talk, but he can't wrestle that well. He's the worst part of every single one of his matches. So I don't even. Who are the other two?
Roman Reigns, Randy Orton.
Well, they're staying. They're staying. Reigns because of his Universal Championship, and WWE Championship run during COVID. He propped up that era. And Randy Orton, I mean, again, someone who's lived through multiple generations. I am the biggest CM Punk hater out there, so he's going straight in the bin.
He's going in the bin. Right. This I had to do a Brit Rest one. So I've got
Okay, here we go.
Regan Blade.
Okay.
AJ Payne.
Okay.
Denzel Mack.
Oh, whoa, okay. So, well, obviously Denzel's not going in the bin. There's no chance of that. He's my boy. You know, we've had some great matches teaming together. We've had my favorite match to date, which was against him at the first Play Fight student show in the main event. Still today, I look back on that match, and you know, I can criticize things and things I would have done differently, but that's still one of my favorite matches. So Denzel Mack's got to stay in, and then it's a toss up between Regan and AJ. And let me just think. So Regan, I faced Regan a couple of times. I've got to say, all these guys, Denzel Mack, Regan Blade, and AJ Payne, they're going somewhere. I faced them all a couple of times. I faced AJ more than once. I think I might have. No, I did. I faced him in a tag team match against him and Regan Blade with Denzel Mack on my side. I faced Regan with his other tag team partner, Matt Craven, twice. And I faced AJ in a singles as well. But obviously, my boy Denzel Mack, he's staying in, and just because Regan and his partner Matt Craven decided to pull some. I mean, have you seen that match? They cheated. You know, you're nodding your head. You know exactly what happened. I'm gonna have to. I'll save AJ because he's all right. He's only had one win over me, but Regan, because he took my first championship away from me. He's going straight out as well. And you can also put Matt Craven with him as well. They can go out together.
Craven and Blade in the bin.
In the bin. Straight in the bin. Yeah.
Funny enough, Regan Blade and AJ Payne facing off against each other at Ignite. We'll get into that in a bit. But right, that was that round. So you done well there. If you could have a band play you out at an arena, doesn't matter which band it is, which band is playing Lincoln Spectre out?
Oh, my music taste is so all over the place. Damn, what band is playing me out? Let me have a think. You know what? Just to you know what? The thing is, right? In wrestling at this level, you can pick your own theme song. So the person that the band or I'm gonna say that's a band or it can be an artist.
Artist, band, whoever.
Artist. Because whenever me and Denzel Mack make our entrance to Glorilla, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we picked that theme song for a reason. It gets us hyped. It gets us going out there. So it's going to have to be Glorilla. I mean, that's the one that we go out to now. So it's going to have to be done. I mean, imagine that. Me, Denzel Mack, and her absolutely jamming to her singing. You know, that would be the one. I think that's got to be it.
There you go, Gorilla.
Right. Yeah.
This one's not quite a wrestling question, but it would go along with it. If they had a movie based on Lincoln Spectre, which actor plays Lincoln Spectre?
I've been told multiple times that I look like each of the Spider-Men. So someone said to me that I look like Tobey Maguire. Someone said to me that I look like Andrew Garfield. Someone said to me that I look like Tom Holland. So I feel like maybe I'm an amalgamation of all the Spider-Men. But the person that I think would play me in a movie could be one of those lads. Could be. I mean, let's say Tom Holland, just because he's the business right now, and he's from the same place as me. He's from Kingston upon Thames. So we'll go with him. I've seen him a couple of times around. He used to come to the gym that I used to work at as well. So we'll say him because he's the business right now.
Okay, Al Murray for me.
Oh, okay.
That'd be a great one. Right, last question before we then start to the back end of the show. Right, you start. Yeah. Lincoln Spectre starting a wrestling promotion. You have to choose. This is a new question, by the way. You have to choose 3 women and 3 men to build your promotion around. 1 woman and 1 man. Needs to be from Brit Wres. Who are they going to be?
Okay, any like anyone. Currently?
Yep.
Okay. The person from Brit Wres, can it be? Well, I can't say myself, can I?
You
That's
can.
poor. I mean, I could to be fair. So I've got 6 people, 3 women and 3 men. One of them has to be from Brit Wres. Okay. Oh. Okay. I'm building. If I'm not me, I'm not going to be selfish. I'm not going to say myself. If I'm building a promotion around someone, I feel like this person is completely unsung in Brit Wres. He's been training for years. He's one of my best friends within wrestling. A fella called Jay Alexander. Okay. I feel like he is one of the best in Brit Wres, and more promotions need to be booking him. So I'm going to build my promotion around him. In terms of other male competitors, I'm going to say Dragon Kid from Dragon Gate, a man that has been around for years and years and years, almost 50 years old, and he's still performing at the highest level. So he's going to be one of my male competitors. And then to round off the male competitors, who would I have? Let's go for someone again who I take a bit of inspiration from, that is hopefully going to be back on the scene soon, is Kota Ibushi. I'd love to see a triple threat between those 3 men. And Jay Alexander, I've got to say about him, he's one of the best for advice, training. He's on it, man. I do tell him he needs to lock in a bit, with his diet and that. But people need to book him on their shows. That's one for you to look into, Jay Alexander. So then those 3. For the female side, I mean, Brit Wres wise, Alexis Falcon has been absolutely killing it lately. I mean, you can't deny she's got all the belts. I don't think any male athlete has done that in history, holding, in my mind, you got the top 3 promotions, right? Cabaret, Rev Pro and Progress. And she's holding all the belts. I mean, that is an achievement to say the least, And then other female competitors, I mean, again, I take a lot of inspiration from Joshi wrestling. So again, I'm going to sort of default back to that. And the two Joshi wrestlers that I'm going to pick for my promotion would be Sari. Previously showed up in NXT, but really in the last couple of years has made her work. She's been my favorite wrestler for the last 2 years. She's had the best matches in my mind in Japan whilst being freelancer, which I think is absolutely amazing. And then the last person that I'm going to plan my promotion around is Mai Iwatani. Again, just been killing it. Was with Stardom, did everything that there was to do there, and is now with Marigold, just picking up belts. Similar to Alexis Falcon. So I'm gonna say, those 3 people. And then I mean, it feels bad because there's so many people that are popping into my head right now that I'd like to build my promotion around. But those are the 3 male and 3 female athletes that I think I'd go for.
Perfect. That is a good set of people. Right. Define success, Lincoln Spectre. If you get a crystal ball, define your success in wrestling. What would you like to get to? What would be success?
My goal at the end of the day for wrestling, if we're talking like super if you ask me right now, like, and you got 3 wishes or you got 1 wish or whatever, I want to wrestle full time in Japan. Where whether that be if I had to put my thumb in it, it would be for New Japan Pro Wrestling in the juniors, because that's what I kind of I feel like I grew up on. When see Kenny Omega, Kushida, Hiromu Takahashi, these kind of guys, that would be my top goal. But personally, success in my mind is every single day achieving what I set out to do. And that might be going to training, going to the gym, getting a booking, getting myself out there. But yeah, in a general sense, success for me, if I had the grandest wish of all, I want to live and work full time as a wrestler in Japan. That would be my absolute dream. So that's my idea of making it in my mind.
Wow, in Japan, that'd be very, very interesting. That'd be magic. That really, really would. Right, as we start to wrap up now, my friend. Look, May's a busy month, like you say. What can you announce that you've got coming up? Where can people find you, and more importantly, where can people book you?
So, if you're interested in booking myself, reach out to me on my Instagram. I believe. Let me just make 100% sure that I'm not getting it wrong. I believe it is. Lincoln _Spectre _PW. Glad I got that right. Just give me a shout on the Instagram or come up to me at a show, because I might be helping out at a show near you. I might be scooting around at a show near you. I've got United on the 3rd, which I've worked out the timings, and you can actually hit Ignite and United, as I might be doing with my partner Denzel Mack. I might be hanging around at the back whilst he beats the piss out of Chris Aries and wins the Hitting the Turnbuckle Championship. I've then got UBW, Ultimate British Wrestling, where I will be defending my UBW Tag Team Championship alongside Denzel Mack. That's on Saturday, May the 9th. I'm then at WrestleForce on Sunday the 17th. What am I doing on that day? I'm facing Jay Alexander. That's hot off the presses. So as I said, I've sung his praises in this interview, but how will I fare against him on Sunday, May 17th? And then I'm not going to give that one away. There's a bit of a surprise happening on Sunday the 24th. Might be something around a certain comic convention. We'll have to just wait and see. But again, on Sunday 24th, there's a double there with Play Fights. They're doing a student show, which I should be a part of. Fingers crossed. They my school that I spend a lot of time at. They give me the opportunity to work there. And then again, I've got WrestleForce at Long Ditton Village Hall on Saturday the 30th. But I've still got a couple of dates open. So looking forward, if you are interested in booking me, just hit me up on my Instagram and I'll be more than happy to discuss.
Yes, make sure you do fill those dates up. But as Lincoln said, on the 3rd, there is a small matter of Ignite Wrestling, the End Game. It is called, and you've already mentioned, Denzel Mack is the first challenger. I call him Mr. Happy because, I call him Mr. Happy because a little bit like the comet, every 2,000 years he smiles. And every 2,000 years we see the comet. Chris Aries making his first defense of that championship since we had to strip a Luna of the championship, and he won, becoming the first ever Ignite Grand Slam champion, and he will not let you live that down, I can assure you. Also on that card, Luna does return. She wasn't allowed to have her championship match back. She has to win it back, and she has to beat the debuting Violet Knight to do so. We got a great triple threat match. Unfortunately, Tommy Carl's had to pull out of, or not pull out. He's unfortunately taken a step back from wrestling. So he's out of the triple threat against Corey McRae, Jaden Williams. But taking his place is Danny Black. So that will be a great triple threat match. Also in the breakout, I've already discussed it. AJ Payne, Regan Blade, breakout division. Who will join Ryan Curran, of all fucking people, in the final of that? Speaking of bad smells, Ryan Curran and Tom Mercer, after last time, I don't agree that they're even allowed in the building, but they are, and they will be taking on EM0 during that show. And the main event is Tommy Tanner, making his first defense of the Ignite Wrestling Championship against Joe Lando from CPF. And of course, we do have now, again, something else I'm against, the face-to-face between Taylor James and Ignite GM CJ Carter. Again, those of you that haven't seen the events of the last show, if you pop onto Ignite Rest Pro, it's somewhere in there you will see all of the stuff that happened after Taylor James lost that heavyweight championship. Anyway, coming on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast very soon, or if you go to the playlist, you can see AEW star Deonna Purrazzo, TNA stars Eddie Edwards and Harley Hudson are also below. And coming in 2026 for the fourth time on the show, I get the pleasure of calling him Uncle Eric. Eric Bischoff will be returning back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast for another installment of this year in wrestling. However, Lincoln, it's been marvelous. I will definitely, well, hopefully, you never know, you may be needed on the third to help Denzel face off Aries and Scurro of all people. If we are, we'll see you there. If not, I'll see you at another show soon. But thank you for your time and good luck for 2026.
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to it.
Guys, from Lincoln Spectre, I've been your host, Adam Cousins. You've been watching the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. And until next time, buckle down, stay safe. Goodbye.